Do you play trading card games? Of course you do. That's why you're listening to / watching this thing. If you want to save money on your trading card purchases, we have a promo link over at 50cards.shop. Enter the promo code ATNIGHT to get 5% off your order. But hey, everybody, welcome to Nexus at Night, your weekly Vanguard podcast. I'm Atlas.
I'm Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
And I was trying to get the recording to start right when they had the cards up to the camera, but I was too late. So,
I mean, we can do it again.
That's true.
You can if you want.
I gotta pull them out again. Hold on. I shuffled them in.
No, it's fine. I just like shiny mermaids, things I don't really care about. There you go.
Is she a mermaid? I'm not sure. Yeah, Root Beer doesn't own these for some reason.
I don't know.
I own one of them.
He got scammed. Not really.
Yeah.
But
shiny, very shiny.
But I have one.
Yeah, this deck is sweet.
Well, we're talking about the return of Legion pairs today. Not the Legion mechanic, just the Legion pairs from the original series coming back in V with
like different things.
Yeah, like almost Legion effects, but not quite, and maybe one little card reveal at the end because Root Beer couldn't keep his goddamn mouth shut on Twitter.
Yeah.
In his defense, that's me all the time. So
fair enough.
Hey, look, I was just leaving that out there with no context. People can do with that information what they will.
The funniest part was they immediately thought it was me, which fair guess.
It's funny too because like it's still 3 CB.
Yeah, but as long as your opponent hits you to 3, you use one of them to get the 4th damage, and then you still have 3 left.
Why don't we just start with it then? We're already in the pool. Fuck it. Let's go.
All right. So what card are we talking about, Root Beer?
So we are talking about Armor Break Dragon. So it is a grade 3 that was revealed for Narukami. It has an act ability, cost, Counterblast 3, bind all of your opponent's front row rear guards. Then, for each of your opponent's open front row rear guard, this unit gets power plus 10,000 and critical plus 2. And then it has a second auto ability. When it attacks, if you have 4 or more cards in your damage, it gets another 10,000. And then until end of battle, your opponent can't call sentinels from hand to guard circle.
Is this why you had me look up all these cards that give power somewhere?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Because at least for premium format, the idea here is you can play the self-damage cards, like, I don't remember the thing's fucking name, but these old-ass cards from original Limit Break era, before they figured out just having Limit Break enablers, so that you can give Counterblast 1, and if you have the Clan Vanguard, which you always will, put the top card of your deck into the damage zone, and then at the beginning of end phase, choose a card from damage and put it back in your deck.
Okay.
So the idea here is that your opponent probably doesn't know what random garbage you're playing, so they'll probably just damage you. So as long as you can get to 3, the damage enablers get you to 4, and then you should have 3 open counterblasts. So theoretically, on like turn 3, maybe turn 4, you can just armor break, attack your opponent for like 40k, 5 crits, and no sentinels. And what are they going to do about it?
Guard it. Probably.
Depending what you're playing. I mean, like, this is in a world with Stunverse, which means you can get it out of the way and then do that.
Yeah.
It's like literally the one clan you can do that with.
But you just like take all of your opponent's hits. So if you're like going first, you could potentially just do this turn 1. What are they going to do about, or your first grade 3 turn? Like, what are they going to do about it?
Throw a heal guard down.
I feel like a lot of people that I've played,
heal guards literally exist.
That too, but also a lot of people that I've played don't bother damage denying in a world with heal guardians. They're just like, fuck it, let's try and get them as close as possible.
It's yeah, I guess there are sometimes do it because I think it can only get you to 1, right?
Yeah.
So I guess there could be like cases where 1 damage is fine, or you want them to commit it. But yeah, I think it's much rarer these days.
Yeah, or they like give you 1 at a time, like you were saying. They just give them 1. wait for them to use it, give them 1. But if you have those things,
But
play.
the heal guards are only crit -2. This has like 5 at least.
Well, the damage adders from the old cost of counterblast, they don't actually gain you a counterblast. They just kind of give you an extra damage.
Yeah, but as long as you already have the 3, it's not like you're playing counterblast for anything else in this stupid deck I'm coming up with.
Yeah, you have like other ways to countercharge Soul Charm, right? You have what's his name, Zuitan, I think his name was.
I mean, you just like shove your deck full of cards that give your Vanguard more power. So like, if you're going second, you could try to hit over a G guard.
Is this tied to? Okay, so that's tied to Gauntlet Buster. Has no rear guards.
I feel like
so that doesn't help.
I feel like Gauntlet Buster just does the same thing.
But this is funnier, so
yeah.
I guess that's true.
Oh my god!
But Gauntlet Buster doesn't have the guard restrict is the thing.
Yeah. That's true. And the way you beat Gauntlet Buster back in the day was having a PG.
Yeah.
Except now this has Sentinel block.
Well, when they're at 4 damage, I think. I mean, the strat generally, I guess, would be to keep them at 3, and if they want to spend the 3, they can. But like,
I'm not going to stop it.
Yeah, it's just
that's why you have the damage enablers for premium. This only works in premium because it has the damage enablers.
Yeah, in premium,
I'm not going to stop Root Beer from doing this.
Yeah, in premium, I'm just gonna try to kill you.
Like, this is absolute garbage, and it's never going to work except for that one time, and that person's going to be really mad.
They're going to be so mad. I think
we will be there with the camera.
We were talking about this card in Discord, and we were talking about, wow, this card looks really bad. And somebody's like, I'm going to be so mad when I lose to it.
There's going to be one. There's going to be one guy who walks the locals wasteland and is just like, beware.
You're just going to die to it, and you're going to be like, well, that happened.
Yeah. You just play like 12 crit 4 draw to like the 4 draws just to like find the armor break. Or maybe like 3 draws and 1 over trigger so you can restand it.
Oh, that's pretty funny. Especially for something like that.
I mean, it's an act ability, so.
Yeah, and then on attack, it's not once per turn. Very cool.
Because they don't expect you to restand it.
True.
This is what happens when you leave over triggers legal, Bushiroad. Make the right decision.
Oh, and the crit minus is only until end of battle from the heal guard. So if they manage to like take away all the crits, they just come back.
Yeah. That's pretty wacky.
That's funny.
Well, it can't be any more stupid than the thing I'm going to try with Sword Magician Sarah for V Premium. That's a conversation for another day. But
enjoy getting owned by Prism.
That's why I don't like V very much. I only play V because my friends play V. So
I think V would be okay if like Prism Gurgit were like non-existent. But I think
V would be okay.
I think Prism and Gurgit are like quite a bit better than the other decks. So you end up in this position where V is just kind of like, as long as Prism and Gurgit both exist.
I'd like V if I could use strides. Oh wait, there is one, so I can just do that instead.
I focus most of my energy on standard these days.
Fair enough.
Which is nice. We have like a varied portfolio of content for this.
Yeah, I mean, we just had 2, like they're twins, and they just kind of joined our little locals group, and like one of them really is into V. So like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like try and make just a little bit of an effort. So I crammed together this Locks build that topped in France with a couple of changes, and it works, and it runs like 15 grade 3s. It's ridiculous.
You did it.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I also made a Polaris build, which I'm going to try next week. So we'll see.
I think as long as you're avoiding the problem decks, I think V is like pretty reasonable actually. Because there's no over triggers.
Right. But Richard has heard it, so like,
yeah. Richard at it again.
Yeah. At least we can say he's not a poser. That guy's been there since the beginning.
That's true. No, I'm not going to call him. I'm not going to call him on it. I'm just going to be like, damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
All right. So the return of these Legion pairs, to those who may have shown up to Vanguard a little later, Legion was this mechanic between Boomer, Vanguard, and Strides, where their basic effect was if both players were at grade 3, you could, as an act ability, put 4 cards from your drop zone back into your deck, search your deck for the Legion mate, which was usually a grade 2, although there were some revival Legions that used old grade 3s for it.
Mm-hmm.
Legion, which meant both cards became part of your Vanguard, and then usually the effect, they had a better effect that was when you're in Legion, you get to do a thing.
Yep.
And you add the attack of the mate to your Vanguard.
Yes. So
And
normally... Sorry, what?
When you're attacking, otherwise you'd just be 23k all the time.
Yeah, no,
20k, right? Because it's 11.
Oh yeah, 20.
Yeah, it was usually 11k grade 3, 9k grade 2. You get 20k base. Once again, not always the case.
22, 23 in the case of multiple grade 3s.
Mm-hmm,
the cross was 22.
Mm-hmm.
Or with the Daikaiser stuff.
Yep.
Yep.
And then, this was also back in the day where they would just randomly print, oh, if you're in Legion, plus 2k on random cards.
Yeah. There were some specific archetypes that were just for the Legion, like Brawlers for Narukami is a good example. Mm-hmm. Some clans got a bunch of 2 legions per clan. Others just got a promo legion that was thrown at them.
Yeah, because Legion ended 2 sets in.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Legion only had 2 major sets and I think 2 or 3 extra boosters.
Yep. So only half the clans in the game even got legions to begin with, and then at the beginning of G and as random promos, they're just here, have the rest of them.
Yeah, for example, I think her name was Cracking Beast Tamer for for Pale Moon. That was absolute garbage. I will give you an example. This was when it Legion, so when you put the 4 in and get Barking Sky Tiger, you can counterblast 2. If you do Soul Charge 2, choose 3 cards from your soul, call them to rear, and then when one of your units is placed on rear from soul, she gets plus 3k until end of turn. So on the one turn that you Legion, you can call a whopping 3 things, and that's it. You didn't get to do anything past that turn. You'd have to rewrite a new one and do the Legion thing all over again. I know. I tried to make it work. What?
Which came up.
Yeah.
The re-legioning.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was, because you would mostly use it to recycle triggers because games would go on forever.
It did not specify normal units.
No. So people they made Sentinel units, so what would normally be PGs, that was colloquially referred to as a quintet wall, where when you guarded with it, you counterblast, use the top 5 cards of your deck to guard with. So it was supposed to load up your drop zone for Legion, but that's not what people would do because that's stupid.
Nobody played these.
Nobody used that bullshit.
I think Genesis used it.
Oh.
I think.
And then
specific, but only because it went to Soul randomly. Yeah. But other than that, there was no point.
And then some variants of Grand Blue, I guess, because milling.
I don't think they did.
I don't know, because the thing was
also the Grand Blue Legion was hot dog.
Oh yeah,
it was not. Good.
No, it was 7 Runner that used the quintet wall because it milled cards for them.
Yes, but that was incidental. That wasn't because of the Legion thing.
Yeah.
I think the best Legions early, I think, was the Spike Brothers Legion was actually quite good. The not high rarity Legion, I guess, was quite good. The Frozen Ogle. Yeah.
Shout out to our friend Jared, who we taught to play in a diner 2 hours before a regional with that.
So this was the first time Spikes was a contender. Mm-hmm. Is in Legion era. So basically, there was this Legion called Frozen Ogle, or sorry. Bloody Ogle. Bloody Ogle was the main Legion boss, and Frozen Ogle was the mate. So the idea is that it had the kind of a Dudley Emperor effect, where you can counterblast 2, put a card from your hand to soul, search your deck for a card, and call it to an open rear. It was a pretty simple effect, but more importantly, when you're during the turn of when you Legioned, every rear guard that attacked would get plus 5k, which was really important in Spikes. Yes. And you then used another card, which it's Legion Mate, Frozen Ogle, which said that during the turn your Vanguard Legioned, at the end of the battle, that this unit attacked a Vanguard, you can counterblast 1, put it in your soul, search your deck for a card, call to open rear. Mm-hmm. So you can basically keep cycling through these Ogles. Now, 4K, 5K doesn't sound like a lot, but what people would combine it with was Bad End Dragger.
Yes.
And so basically, you'd be sitting on Bad End, you'd hit Limit Break somehow, and then you would Break Ride, Bloody Ogle, Legion the same turn, and have plus 15K to every rear guard that attacks. So you're like Frozen Ogle for 24, Frozen Ogle for 24, Frozen Ogle for 24.
And this is also in an era where triggers were 5K on damage instead of 10K. So
Right.
they would have to take 3 triggers on damage to even match Bloody or Frozen Ogle. So, and also Spike Brothers being kind of a butt clan before this time, no one really knew what it did. So there was the surprise factor there too. So they're like, all right, I'm going to put you to 5. It's Legion. I don't care. Break like 2. Break right.
It was kind of the first time that Spikes had like a real threat.
Yeah.
That was, it didn't last too long in Legion era, unfortunately, because they came out with a lot of other Legions that I think were just a lot better. I mean, even
Basically
like gold, Bluish Flames, and then into, you know, basically your Shadow Paladin, Abyss, Legion, and Regalia.
Basically, every Legion became a guard restrict or a restander.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, there was Cat Butler.
Oh, yeah. And
Cat Butler. Okay.
Yeah, Risers.
All right. So, Cat Butler was this grade 0 where at the end of the battle that your grade 2 Vanguard attacked, which counts when you're in Legion, because that's a grade 2 on the Vanguard circle, you could retire Cat Butler to restand it.
And then because they're both your Vanguard, if you stand one of them, both of them stand.
Yep. So that would be 2 to 4 Vanguard attacks in a turn.
Yep.
And that's not discarding anything for that. So,
yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
And if you have 4 or more rest units, the dual Mega Flare just gets a crit.
Yep. So one thing about this is when it was first when Legion was first shown as a mechanic, I remember hanging out at a card shop in Hacienda Heights, and we were talking about it like, there's no way Cat Butler works like this, right? We're like, right? There's like no way. And like, so we sent an email and we're like, I guess we're going to find out. And sure enough, it did. We were like, this is ass.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
That was certainly a thing. It got Cat Butler banned eventually, but...
Yeah. I mean, people were playing that kind of Riser style in G era still at the beginning of G era. Because there's no reason not to.
Yeah. Like, people were playing the Cross because the end hitting could also just restand.
Yeah, that was at least a G card, though, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Very early G. You also had
G set 1.
You had Genesis with Norn and Yggdrasil, which people in the modern day might also recognize Norn and Yggdrasil. That was like pretty crazy for the time because it would be like with crits and things like that. And I would be remiss as a Great Nature player to not mention Tester Fox, which, while a promo Legion that they threw in at the end was pretty solid.
It was a good promo. Yeah,
it was. Yeah, because the effect was when Researcher Fox died, you got to, or when anything died, you got to countercharge while in Legion, and then Researcher Fox allowed you to search a copy of Vanguard from deck, so you could cycle forever. So you would just use that to just not die, and then deck your opponent out.
Yeah, which brings us back to the topic of this episode, which is that a lot of these Legion cards have been retrained in V. Like, they've been retraining them for a while, and they've like constantly tried to play around with the Legion mechanic because a lot of them search out their previous mates. I think, was the Great the first time they retrained a Legion unit? I feel like it is.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. So yeah, Dragonic Overlord the Great. Let me go find this card.
And more recently, they've retrained Sinbuster.
Yeah, they retrained Sinbuster, they retrained Yggdrasil, but anyways, yeah, so Dragonic Overlord the Great, like, when placed, you can call up to 1 Dragonic Neoflame from drop zone to rear guard, so kind of playing around with the idea of, like, sending back 4 cards from drop. That's another thing a lot of people did, is that they would just take the Legion mate in the drop zone, put it in their deck, and then put it back out in Legion.
I think that
And
was
then-
the idea with the design, right? Like to make sure always have the mate where you can access it.
And then, at the end of battle that attacked, if your soul has a grade 3, you can counterblast 1, discard 2, stand the great and Neo Flame, and they both get drive -1.
Yeah. Now, this isn't explicitly legioning, but it might as well be.
Yeah, like the idea is that they're attacking as a pair.
Hang on,
Yeah.
I'm looking at
I
Neo
think-
Flame. Dodgy
Yeah.
attacks that unit gets +5.
Neo Flame doesn't really do anything important.
It doesn't. I just wanted to make sure.
But yeah, that was the first time they retrained a Legion card, and I think that was the most they like directly brought in the idea of Legion where they're attacking as a pair.
Mhm.
I think every other time they've done weird things like the Witch Legion turns your rear guards into vanguards, which is again kind of playing with the idea that both of them were your vanguard in Legion.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it turned into this thing where like Witch of Reality Femme, the grade 2, she had a Vanguard only effect. So on paper, it's like, well, this only works 10 and 2. But being able to turn your rear guard into a Vanguard circle not only turns that effect on again, but also does things like prevents Denial Griffin randomly. Like can't retire a Vanguard. So,
Yep.
and then gave herself twin drive and stuff. It's just very interesting that they're like probably just doing this for the nostalgia, right? Like, oh, they're bringing back all the
I mean,
old
yeah,
units.
like this whole game has been them all of V has been them retraining random units. We've only gotten a few like manga exclusive or we had things with Valkyrion and Malkuth that were like anime originals that were like unique to V, and then a bunch of manga retrains that were really terrible cards that never saw play when they first came out originally and then randomly became really good. Death Anchor.
I still think Malkuth is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Malkuth is cool too. There's a friend of mine who like really wants to make that work in premium and
Good luck.
Them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Angel Feather's in a rough spot, like all together in
Yes.
premium.
Yeah.
They need help desperately, and they're not getting it.
Yeah, but
they have a good finisher. They just got to get to it.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do they though?
Purple hair that like rips apart your hand in like one turn.
I mean, it's like a pipe dream.
That's what I'm saying. Like they need a way to like
They need
survive
something
long
more
enough.
consistent than that.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, speaking of Tester Fox, that was one of the things that was retrained. Did you want to talk about that, Atlas?
Yeah, so Tester Fox, I think I talked about this on Tangents, patreon.com/NexusIgnite, or on this show. I can't fucking remember anymore. So the effect is when placed on van or rear, counterblast 1, put 2 cards from your drop to bottom of deck in any order. Once again, we're seeing the like seek mate thing happening. He gets plus tave until end of turn, and then if you put a normal and a trigger unit for the cost, search your deck for a Researcher Fox, his old mate, call it to rear, and shuffle. And then on Van or Rear, you can Soul Blast 1, choose one of your rear guards, gets plus 10. At the end of the turn, retire it, and then if it was Researcher Fox, you draw one. So it's made to work with Researcher Fox. Because the old combo was you would kill Researcher Fox at end phase with the doping effect. Researcher Fox would counterblast, search for a copy of Tester Fox, and then Tester Fox would immediately countercharge, so it's free, basically. This is something similar to that, although you don't get your counterblast back. And then Researcher Fox's ability, aside from getting plus 5k every time you mill something when he's on an Excel circle, which is whatever, but when he's retired from rear, buy your card's ability. You can counterblast, search your deck for one card with the same card as your Vanguard, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle. So obviously meant to work with each other.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I'm going to
Soul Blast 1, Counterblast 1, draw, search for a copy, draw a card.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Definitely.
Like for premium, it's just stride fodder, but also like rewriting for another Excel circle is just nice.
Yeah, it's stride fodder, but also one of my favorite things to do is because of Managarm Alrum's G-Zone ability when it's face up, when your Vanguard attacks, you can Soul Blast and call something from hand. So I'll do this thing where like I'll either things I don't care about retiring or an empty circle or whatever, I will call Tester Fox from hand, who will then immediately call Researcher Fox from deck. so it's like this nice surprise on your opponent.
Especially, it works on rear. Hold up.
Yeah.
So it's
like,
really funny when my opponent goes, "How many attacks do you have left?" And I go, "I literally have no idea."
Yeah, I remember when I first read Tester Fox, I wasn't looking at the symbol, so I thought it was terrible. And then I looked at, and then you started gushing about it, so I looked at it again. I'm like, oh, this says Van or rear.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't even like lose anything for being on rear guard. It just has its whole effect.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I am a huge fan of this thing, and also like at least in premium, it became a little engine where you just have like 2 of each. Yeah. Like, all right, put them back, reuse them again. Yeah.
Yeah, but speaking of returned mechanics, we already talked about this a little bit before, but they also randomly decided to bring back Limit Break in its entirety, aside from the actual Limit Break symbol.
It's true.
Are we going back to Armor Break Dragon?
Well, we did talk about that one.
Yeah, we already talked about Armor Break Dragon, but
that's
I'm just
not
saying
the only one.
Yeah, they just printed it on so many of these cards. Like, I joked about that because they were bringing back reverse units. I didn't think they'd actually bring back Limit Break, but like the night after I said that, they revealed Sweep Command Dragon, and you know, one of its skills just says like if there are 4 or more cards in your damage zone, you know, you can like get a gift, you can get an Excel gift, and then call an Eradicator from drop to a rear guard circle. I'm like, holy shit, they actually printed Limit Break on a card. What year are we living in?
But then you can use the Superior Ride with Sweep Command.
Yeah. And then, if that wasn't enough, there was Conviction Dragon, Chrome Jailer Dragon. I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast before, but
I don't think we did. I think just in the Discord.
This is the most 2012 Vanguard card ever print. Actually, what was the first Limit Break set?
It was BTO 6.
Yeah, what year was that?
That was okay. Remember
2014?
No, because remember there was the skip where instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
we got 7 third.
1, 2, 6.
Yeah.
3, 4, I think 7, 5.
Yeah, but like you know, the point is it was like 2012
because they wanted to delay us getting MLB and DOT.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, this is like the most 2012 card. Chrome Jailer says act Vanguard Circle once per turn, cost Counterblast 1. Discard a Conviction Dragon, Chrome Jailer Dragon from your hand.
Persona Blast is back, baby.
Look at the number of cards at the top of your deck equal to your empty rear guard circles, and then call any number among them to rear and shuffle your deck. And then when it attacks, if all of your rear guard circles have rear guards, you can Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. It gets power plus 10,000 and critical plus 1. Then if you have 4 or more damage, also gets drive plus 1. So this has a Persona Blast and Limit Break written on it. What year is this?
This card
is the end times.
This card just does not care. The Spectral Duke Cross Ride right here.
Like, I unironically want to build a Chrome Jailer deck just to have the 2012 experience.
I asked Richard what he thought of this because it got revealed like a couple days before.
Did he even respond to you? I just wouldn't even respond.
He you know how like when someone's kid got like in trouble at school, and you're like, so how's little Jeremy or whatever, and they just give you this look like I don't want to talk about it right now. Just leave me alone. That's basically the look he gave me. So what do you think of Chrome Jailer?
There's no knight on here at all.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? My God.
Yeah. So what are we thinking for these, like this return of old effects? And also I may note that the Limit Break is not the actual keyword, which means at least in premium you can't use the like Limit Break unlocker or whatever it is.
Yes. But you can use the old like set 8 self-damaging cards, which I had talked about previously.
Yes, please check Twitter for that massive meme thread that
Please.
somebody. The best part was just someone thinking it was me.
Yep.
Um,
This is
So-
hilarious.
So what are we thinking about, like, the return of all this stuff, of Legion, of Limit Break, of Persona Blasting, both for V and for Premium?
While it's funny, these cards don't look, generally speaking, these cards don't look very good.
Yeah. See, the problem with Limit Break this late in the game is that we already have all of the non-Limit Break cards. This is the same mistake they made when MLB and Dota and all of that stuff was around the first time, where putting an arbitrary limit on all of your cards doesn't work when you already have stronger cards without limits that exist.
That's true.
It's like reverse power creep.
Yeah.
And also, I think they're really hoping that the nostalgia carries them through this. You know?
Yes,
I
that's
mean, I
exactly
think they've
right.
been hoping on that since the reverse units.
Yeah. Instead, you get
Perhaps.
Hamskate cards.
I mean, at least the Hamskate card is a promo.
That's true.
Um,
And there's some bait Messiah card.
the Hamstay promo is whatever. I'm just sick of all these Hamstay promos. I don't want it to be good.
Sucks.
You will play the hamsters and you will like it.
In the locks turbo thing, you have to play 4 of the one that recycles hamstays, 4 of the grade 1 hamstay, 1 of the grade 2 hamstay, just so you can guarantee that grade 2 ride, and then grade 3 is the rest of the way. So
You can't run from the hamsters. They will find you.
They know where you live.
It's true.
I can't. I don't know how long they plan to keep this up, but
Yeah.
Who knows?
I feel like checking out all of the Facebook groups on about Vanguard. Some are just like, oh my god, Chrome Jailer, and like, it's probably gonna sell.
I can't wait to get Grateful Catapult for Spike. Wait, have we had Spikes yet?
I don't think we have.
It's gonna be
Grateful
Grateful
Catapult.
Grateful Catapult's gonna have an LB4 and Persona Blast. Let's go.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Well,
It could
I
be
guess-
the Ogles. That'd be cool.
oh, that'd be nice. Yeah. And then
Yeah, the only Spike Brothers card we got so far is this like one random grade 1 that doesn't
Reckless
matter.
Express.
yeah. And he
Oh my
bulked the hell
God.
up. That guy got ripped.
Yeah,
in
he's
quarantine.
beefy.
Yeah.
But
He is quite
he's
large.
Not great. He's okay.
Yeah.
He's not the worst.
Yeah. We did get Riot, which is a really cool card.
Which
yeah,
one?
the dual cards are neat.
Yeah, the Bermuda cards. I really
Oh.
like the way they're designed.
They seem pretty good.
Yeah. I like that they can take advantage of the Prism cards, but the Prism cards can't use them very well.
Yeah.
Was it like a square rectangle type thing?
I hope this gives them reason to shoot Prism. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, like, you're
Vanguard,
hoping it gets
obviously.
so bad that they finally have to go, oh, fine.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
And
Well,
unfortunately for Richard, they probably, it's been too long. It's been like 18 months of Prism.
yeah. And I don't know. Just
It's too
I
long.
don't. I'm sorry, I don't care that much about V, but like, it just feels like a half measure. But that's me.
Well, I
So-
mean, the last ban list needed to be harder on Prism to begin with.
hmm
Yeah.
You can also just run Percival with the other stuff in premium.
I think the worst part about this V collection is it reminded me that Cosmo Lord existed.
I forgot about that.
Like, why?
I don't know.
And
Do
the
we-
worst part is they're not even committing to it, right? Like, it's not even like Cosmo Lord, Death Army Lady, Death Army Guy, right? It's not even like a commit. It's just like, here's
just
Ashura
randomly-
Kaiser and Cosmo Lord.
Yeah.
We'll talk more
And the
about like
Cosmo
all that
Lord is,
stuff.
like bad too.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that stuff during the actual set review once it's done. But I guess to that, I say, what do you think of the return of the Legion, or Legion pairs have been around for a while, but like,
Yeah.
now that
The
it's
return
become-
of Limit Break in particular.
yes, Limit Break and Persona Blast getting.
I mean,
its
it's only
due.
the Chrome Jailer, just randomly. The original Chrome Jailer didn't even have. Oh no, it did.
No, it did.
Yeah,
It did. I'm looking at it again.
What is any other old mechanics that like could randomly come back in the worst way possible?
I don't think so. I mean, they could put an Ultimate Break on something.
Is there already a card with an ultimate break?
I don't think there's anything that's 5 or more right now.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm high.
Yeah, maybe. So
I think they just randomly did that in G era for some reason, and everyone was like, "But why?"
yeah, I mean,
I feel like if any plane deserves,
they've already done. Yeah, I don't know what else. I don't think there are any more mechanics they can do because Gear Chronicle already does pseudo striding. We have limit breaks. We have reverse units locking your own cards, and the only thing they could do is actually bring back Legion at this point.
Legion
What
was
Legion do you want to
really
see, Atlas?
Legion was really polarizing, wasn't it?
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah. What
Like
were
they
you-
probably won't because it almost killed the game last time. But
Yeah. What did
Legion,
you ask?
What Legion do you want to see, Atlas?
Well, I mean, I want cracking. Like if they're gonna do it for everybody, bring back cracking Beast Hammer, but make it not suck.
No. Pale Moon's already out. You got to pick one that hasn't been revealed yet.
I know. Okay, so Tester Fox came out and it was like good. So happy about that. I didn't really care about Aqua Force's Legions.
their Legion was bad.
Yeah,
I liked one of the Maelstrom Revival
Didn't
Legion.
Aqua Force get a good Legion? It was
They got the Ripple Legion.
The Ripple Legion, yeah, right?
Yeah, but that was like late G. The
Yeah.
original Legion they got in Legion era was awful.
It'd be fucked up if they reprinted that one
I know.
or like retrain that one.
Okay,
Mhm.
I'm like looking up Legions for all the.
I would like the Ogles would be really cool. And since we have a grade 2 and maybe a grade 2, grade 3 left for spikes, that'd be pretty cool. That'd be
Yeah, the
pretty dope.
Ogles would be nice. I remember playing that for a time. We already got the Grand Blue ones, and they both suck. The Peanut
F.
Noir and
F
all
in chat.
that. Yeah, F in the chat. Don't care about Murakumo. Maybe the Brawlers. I kind of liked Brawlers for Narukami. I'm
Do
not
we
sure
already
how
have
you.
too many Narukami cards now? We have Armor Break and
Yeah.
was there not another one?
It's too late for them.
Yeah, Narukami got Armor Break and what was the other?
Sweep Command.
Sweep Command. So,
Mhm.
what is even the third card? Which was supposed to be their boss monsters? I'm pretty sure both of these were just random bullshit that Naoki played during Limit Break.
I couldn't tell you. I know he's on the box and everything, but Tyrannoquake and Tyrannobite for Tachikaze.
Oh yeah.
Even though we already have Spino Driver Reverse.
I want to see what they do. Yeah, I want to see. I don't know if you've played much Vitachi, but Vitachi kind of operates like this. You set up a board that's like kind of cool, right? And then you look at your board with like six freaking rearguard circles in the front row because you've ridden Gaia on
Spino.
Yeah. So you have like a billion Excel circles, and then you're like, if I hit a front trigger, this turn will be really cool, and you attack with Gaia and nothing. That's the state of Tachikaze and me.
That was so like basically the yodeler from The Price is Right, where it's just going up, and then dun 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 dun.
Yeah, it's so tragic. You're like, dang, if I hit this front, it'll be so cool, and it was not cool.
It's pretty nice and premium though. Nabs the top here and there. And
we also know they're bringing back Omega Glendios, so I want to see. I guess that is a mechanic they haven't brought back yet. Is Omega locking?
Hell yeah, bring it back.
I feel like in pretty much any game, any trading card game, the idea of the alternate win con is like whether or not it's good, it's always like frowned upon, if that makes sense.
But Glendios is sweet.
No one wants to play against Final Countdown or Glendios or
no one wants to play against Final Countdown because you also slam down Mystic Mine and then sit there for 20 turns doing nothing.
Or chain burn. I'm just throwing out stuff that's not fun to play against. But it's not fun to play against.
Yeah, but it's fun to play with.
Empty Jar.
Look, Chainburn sucks. The only way Chainburn has ever won games in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is by your opponent not knowing how to play against it.
Yeah, it's really funny playing against it on Master Duel because they'll be like, all right, Secret Blast or whatever. I'm like, I'm not going to Lightning Storm your back row because it's just going to flip something that burns me. If I don't touch it, it either does or it doesn't. You can just chain it all. So fuck it. I'm not doing that. I will Lightning Storm your, I don't know, whatever the hell, or just discard it for something. That's not the point. That's not the point of the episode. Thanks everybody for listening to Nexus at Night. If you want merch. If you want playmats, those are all in the description. If you want to support the show, patreon.com/Nexus at Night. $5 a month. That's the price of a cup of coffee. You get a whole ass bonus show every week with the three of us and sometimes a guest. You also get access to all the past episodes of that. Examples of that include things like Matt messing up his knee because he fell down the stairs, or he crossed his eyes, or me going to a fundraiser for my girlfriend's school and everybody knowing who I was without me knowing anything about them. So that's weird. And that plus a bunch more. Where can they find us?
You can find me on Twitter at Wiggums, 2Gs, 2Zs.
You can find me at Plasma Eclipse.
You can find me at Atlas Novak on Twitter, Instagram, or you can follow my other show at Generation Dan. That's about a Gen Xer, Millennial, and Gen Zer talking about a topic. In a couple weeks, it'll be our season finale, 52 episodes, and we're having somebody comparatively more famous than us on there. So that's fun.
Yay.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll see you next week. Until then, I was Atlas.
I'm still Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
And have a good night.